Welcome to the Mom Self-Care Podcast, your safe space to finally focus on YOU. I'm Chari Twitty-Hawkins, your self-care coach for moms, praying wife, and mom of four. And I know that being a Christ-centered mom is such a beautiful calling, but it can be so draining. That's why it's important to make sure you are filling your own cup. On this podcast, we'll discuss practical, holistic self-care strategies to help nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Because a mama who fills her own cup pours that back into her family with true peace and joy. Tune in for honest conversations about motherhood and self-care because you matter too. Blessings, mamas, and welcome to the Mom Self-Care Podcast. I'm Chari Twitty-Hawkins, your host and self-care coach for moms. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. I hope you're having an amazing start to your new year. I know you're hearing a lot of new year, new you, and though it may seem cliche because we hear it every year, it is still relevant, especially to us as Christian women, as us as moms, because a lot of moms, or should I say a lot of women, are letting motherhood become a totality of who they are. However, you are a woman of God first. You are a human first. So we have to remember that. And I say that to say, I'm going to be talking today about how to renew your passion for yourself and your wants and your needs and rediscovering yourself as a woman. Why? Because when you sacrifice yourself for your children, for motherhood, you begin to feel resentment. You begin to distance yourself from who you are, from the woman that God created you to be. You begin to deal with mom burnout, all of these different things. However, I just want you to know that you can have it all. God wants you to have it all. He wants you to be happy and healthy. He wants your children to be happy and healthy. And that includes taking care of you too, mama. I posted on Facebook today that as much as us as moms, we want the best for our children. Think about, just feel it in your body. I've talked about emotions, how you feel it in your body, how you feel when your children are happy, when they are getting the best things, when they are doing their best, how happy you feel. Isn't that an amazing feeling? Isn't that amazing that you are able to mother your children in such a way, and God is able to provide for your children in such a way that they are living their best lives? Well, guess what? Your children want that for you too. I didn't post all of that, but I posted, moms, as much as you want the best for your children want the best for you too. And so often we are focused on giving to our children that we forget that you have to fill your own cup so that you can pour the best into your children, into your family. So that's why I'm talking today about renewing your passion for your identity and your passion, your purpose outside of motherhood as a woman. So it's time to, as they used to say, or maybe you guys still say, I don't know, reclaiming your time. It's time to reclaim your identity. It's time to reclaim your identity outside of motherhood, because it will make you a better mother, a better wife, a better employee, a better business owner, a better woman of God, a better whatever, fill in the blank. It will make you better when you take care of yourself. So when you're taking the journey to reclaim yourself and rediscover the woman within, you want to focus on, I often talk about that mindset comes first. Yes, you can do the actions, but if you do not believe it, or if you're not constantly working on shifting your mindset, then your actions are going to go back to what you used to do, to neglecting yourself, to not doing the things that you need to do for yourself. So it's important to work on your mindset and know that taking care of yourself, your wants, your needs is not a bad thing. It is a wonderful thing. It is what God wants for you. He wants you to honor the temple that He has given you. He wants you to take care of yourself. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to go exercise, go do that. If you need to focus on, hey, I need to start eating healthier this year, then do that. But remember, take small steps, because often we try to take these big, gigantic leaps. And then when we fail, then it's like, oh, this doesn't work. It may be because you need to start small. Oh man, I don't remember what book it was, but the author talks about just trying 2 minutes of something. Now that's small steps, just trying 2 minutes of something. If you need to go pray for 2 minutes. If you need to go walk for 2 minutes. If you need to meditate for 2 minutes. If you need to journal for 2 minutes. And with me, I don't know about you, but with me, that 2 minutes turns into 5 and then turns into 10 and may even turn into more. But it's about starting small. And I say start small because a lot of moms think that they're neglecting their children because they are practicing self-care, because they're doing what they want to do. When you're not, neglecting means that you're not taking good care of your children, that you're not making sure that they get their wants and their needs met. But you are. This is a part of getting their needs met because you're taking care of yourself. So start small. And that's a way to help you with maybe that feeling of mom guilt of, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. You know, when you do step out and do that mommycation for maybe a night or two or a week. Yes, those, yes. But just leading up to that, helping you to understand that, hey, okay, that 2 minutes did help. Okay, I needed that time to breathe. I needed that time to pray. I needed that time to dance it out, to dance out that stress and energy I was feeling. Whatever that is for you, just know that starting small and shifting your mindset, and that's 2 tips in one, is going to really help you as you build upon that, as you go from, as I said, 2 minutes to 5 minutes to 10 to eventually, hey, mommycation, staying the night somewhere. Or maybe even you're doing a staycation and then your kids are going and staying with somebody, with a family member or a babysitter or whatever. Know that, hey, you are filling your cup. So you are being a better mom for your children and a better woman for yourself. And if you're thinking about, hey, okay, rediscovering the woman within, okay, yes, what else am I supposed to do? I say rediscover because of course, I study self-care and I study self-improvement. And I've heard and read several times, it's not about you discovering necessarily, but it's about rediscovering who you are, rediscovering who you are, the things you used to like to do. So write down, get yourself, y'all know me, I do this over and over for those who are watching on YouTube. Get yourself a pen. Y'all see my purple pen and write down the things that you used to do when you were younger, that you loved to do, that brought you so much joy. For me, it was dancing, crafting, singing, reading. I was telling my daughter she likes to read a lot. And I was like, man, back in the day, I used to love to read. I would like sit down when I was younger, when I had the time to do this, and just read. I try to finish a whole book in a night. Can anybody else relate to that? Like, or in a day, just sit and just read. And the reason I love that so much is because it's like I escaped my reality. And you know, if you're going through teenage years, things like that, we know being a teenager, I'm raising teenagers now. So I have to remember, hey, when I was a teenager, you know, I was discovering who I was, you know, hormones, all these different things. So God bless us. Be with us, moms who are raising teenagers. Lord, I'm praying for y'all. I'm praying for me. Yes. But, you know, just I love that because it will just take me to a different world. So think about that with yourself. What is that thing or those things that you like to do that, you know, what was that for you? Was it sewing? Was it acting? That's something I like to do as well. What was it for you? Was that thing that just really brought you joy? Was it skating? What was it? Write those things down and start to incorporate one of those in your life. Even like I said, even if it's just 2 minutes a day, or say to yourself, if you know, hey, I want to try 30 minutes, then try 30 minutes. Find a class that teaches whatever that hobby is that you used to do, whatever that passion is, and start doing that. And when you start, you will start to feel that, like you can hear it in my voice, like that feeling of, oh my gosh, just stress relief, just joy, peace, or depending on what you're doing, excitement, that rush of adrenaline that you haven't felt in such a long time. So I encourage you to do that right now. When you're listening to this, pause this and write it down. If you cannot, remember, save this episode right now and come back and listen when you can write these things down. Because the only way you're going to see true transformation and renewal in your life if you're intentional about taking consistent action. And if you need more help with this, I do have a course called Rediscovering the Woman Within. I have the link down in the description or status, depending on where you're watching or listening. But it really helps you just sit and take the time to invest in you to rediscover the woman within. So again, writing down what are those things that you used to do that really brought you joy when you were younger, or even when you first became a mom, because some moms are like more intentional about doing those things when their kids are first born, because even though that seems like one of the hardest hardest seasons of motherhood, but we all have different seasons. And maybe you fell off. You're like, hey, I used to do that, but I stopped. Write those things down and then start incorporating those in your life. Start watching videos about it to get your mind used to having that in your life, and then start doing it. And then you want to set personal goals that are aligned with your values. So if you're saying that I want to have a strong relationship with God, then start setting goals, not just goals, guys, but what am I going to do daily? Like I said, maybe just that 2 minutes. I usually say at least 5. What am I going to do daily or every other day or every weekend to strengthen my relationship with God? You can journal. You can do what I call prayer walks, where you go out, and this can be you getting 2 things done at once. You're out enjoying nature, but you're also praying and talking to God while you're exercising. That's awesome. 2 in 1. So if you're saying, I want to learn how to really embrace my emotions in a healthy way, then start studying emotions. Look up, I've mentioned this before, Google emotions wheel, and you'll see a wheel that shows all types of emotions, the words for emotions. So you're not only saying, oh, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, but really, what are those feelings you feel? Where do you feel them in your body when you feel those emotions? Write down what causes or triggers those emotions, and then write down the word associated with that. And then how am I going to deal with that depending on the emotion, if it's what we would call a negative or a positive emotion. If it's a positive emotion, awesome. If it's something that causes you to feel overwhelmed, if it's a negative emotion, how am I going to address this or handle this in a positive way in the future? I was looking on Instagram, and for those who don't know, Denzel Washington just got baptized. I'm like, oh, yes, Lord, look at God working. And I'm not surprised at all by his character, by the way that he presents himself. I'm not surprised at all. But he was reading from a piece of paper, and it talks about how we have to be able to be in control of our responses to people, how we have to learn how to look at other people as divine beings that we are interacting with. And that was just a reminder for me. That can be in your household with your husband, your kids, somebody that is being disrespectful to you. That doesn't mean, let them run over you, but it does change your perspective of how you feel when that situation occurs and how you respond. So go ahead, Denzel. That's what I'm talking about. Look at the Lord. Yes, working. So many people hearing about God and hearing the word that otherwise would not have. So I absolutely love that. But just that reminder of, hey, if you're saying to yourself, I want to work on my emotions and not pretending they don't exist, this is what you need to do. You need to address them. And if you need help on that journey, if you're dealing with mom guilt or different things like that, I am here for you. You can schedule a one-on-one coaching call for me. That will be down in the description or the status as well. So I hope these 4 steps have helped you or will help you to start your new year off strong, rediscovering the woman within and helping you to show up as your best self for 2025 and beyond. And don't forget, if you weren't able to take notes, make sure you save this episode, come back and listen again and take notes and be intentional. What's the word, guys? Intentional about creating transformation from within. And remember, self-discovery, or what some would say, of course, is rediscovery, is not a destination. It is a journey. What do they say? As long as you are still breathing, God is still working on you, right? So that means that this life is a journey. So always be willing to learn. Don't think you know it all. There's some things, y'all know, People, I've seen shirts, Mrs. Right, Mama's all right, always right. Mama knows it all. No, Mama don't. Mama is human. Mama makes mistakes. And if Mama is open to it, God will work on her every day. Every day. So know that this is a journey and it's not a destination. And remember during this process to show yourself grace. So if you mess up, if you start falling back into your old habits, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Acknowledge it. Okay. And then go back to what you wrote down, what you promised you were going to do, and take action. Just every time you mess up, acknowledge it, forgive yourself, and then try again over and over and over until it becomes a consistent part of your lifestyle. I was listening to Eric Thomas today, and he talks about how your success is connected to your routine. That's something I'm working on in 2025. I would say one of my words for 2025 is discipline. So I'm working on my discipline, being disciplined with what I do. And I'm excited to see how God is going to show up and show out because of my obedience and my discipline. So your success is connected to your routine. So I hope you will include these in your routine. And I hope you will see your life change and your family's life change because you have decided, hey, I'm going to be non-negotiable about taking care of me too, of taking care of you too. Well, I hope this bless you, mamas. Make sure if you haven't saved this episode, share with the mama you love and leave a review as well. Happy 2025 and Happy New Year. I'll be saying that probably until next month, my birthday month. All right, mamas, take care. God bless. Thanks so much for joining me for the Mom Self-Care Podcast. I hope you feel inspired to make yourself a priority too. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Share this podcast with another mama you love and leave a review. Also, feel free to let me know what you would like to hear about in future episodes by visiting me on Instagram at CIC Inspire Me. Until next time, take some time to take care of YOU because you matter too.